Hi, welcome to BakerRangers. Welcome to BakerRangers Movie Talks. This is a place where we talk about the movies that we love and we have a good time. And I'm here today with my guest. Gotta do this right. Billy from zeotohero. Uh,
Huh?
Hi, Billy. How are you?
Oh, it's doing great.
Good,
What
good.
about you?
I'm doing all right. It's been a very long day. And I apologize to the listeners or viewers because last week we did not have an episode. It was been a busy 2 weeks. So
Mhm.
now we're back and we are shifting into Turbo.
Ooh, what a
Um,
walk down memory lane, right?
I know. Well, yes, I don't know if it's a great walk down. I don't know if it's n- terribly nostalgic because I don't know if I actually seen this movie whenever it came out.
Mhm.
I don't remember the first time I saw it. I think I saw it when I was a kid, but I just don't remember.
Right.
I think by Turbo, I was kind of already kind of phasing myself out of Power Rangers.
I remember we went,
Z,
we saw it in theaters. Me and Jim. That was me and Jim's prime time when we were karate chopping wood in the back. We were full on hi-yan.
yeah, we got in trouble a lot as kids because we would do that. So my mom grounded us from Power Rangers
Oh
because she thought
no,
we were gonna hurt ourselves. So, but we watched it anyway.
you rebels.
I know. That's probably the worst thing we ever did as kids is go behind our mom's back and watch Power Rangers. So,
Oh no.
but we were good kids. But yeah, because Turbo is one of the I guess one of the tumultuous seasons or versions of Power Rangers. A lot of fans don't like talking about it
Ah,
because
yeah.
it almost ended Power Rangers. Power
Uh,
Rangers almost was 5 years old.
it
Um,
was a dark time
yeah,
for for the series.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know how well the film did or not. But um, it it was different than the first one. I know we
Mhm.
reviewed with us and with Jim on the first movie. What, in your opinion, what kind of are the biggest differences? Not maybe the differences, just takes of what the first one did versus what the second one did for Power Rangers.
Well, the first one definitely, in my opinion, was groundbreaking. It was something that we have never seen before. Uh Very nostalgic too for the 93s, but the Turbo one I do like as well because it's different actors and actually some different favorite long-term actors like Johnny Young Bosch. Kimberly does come back, which is pretty cool with Jason, which I don't know if the movies are like correlated with the comics too, because that's pretty cool to see Kim come back after the whole Dear John and her little stint in the comics.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Dear John, and then the next time you see her, because the Dear John is I met somebody else,
Uh huh.
and she's with Jason.
That's in my
So
thought too. My thought.
what
Yeah.
could Jason he just could not handle being taking the leadership role away from him and given to Tommy.
Hmm.
Um, and
And
so he took his
you
girl.
see it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
see it in the movie too. In the Turbo movie, you'll see it. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, because when Jason is kind of like possessed. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
there's going to be spoilers if you haven't seen this movie, you need to watch it anyway.
Yes.
And then check back. But yeah, when he's possessed, he you can tell that he's got a vendetta against him because instead of following the orders that he's possessed to do and
Mhm.
sacrificing Tommy, he's like, no, this one's mine.
Yeah, that's it.
So
That's right.
I know we're getting ahead of ourselves with
Yeah.
that, but But yeah, it's different. Where the first movie was basically its own thing,
Yes.
and they decided to, well, let's not make this canon. Let's put this in its own little universe. Let's just have a fun Power Rangers movie for the kids to spend millions of dollars
Mhm.
to watch. But by the time Turbo came, well, before Turbo, Zeo I think had, kind of like a mixed review reaction.
Mhm.
People were getting more involved into it, but they've already finished using up all the Sentai footage, so they had to go to the next one, and the next one was Turbo.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the same budgets that they did for the first movie. It kind of
No.
wasn't as popular,
No. No.
so
Yeah.
you can kind of tell with
Hmm.
this movie, just from the they use a lot of the same sets, while the where the first one, the command center, was completely redesigned, Zordon redesigned. This was like the same command center from Zeo. Um,
That's
they
all.
didn't, outside of one like half a second shot. Do you even get the Zeo uh,
Oh yeah.
suits?
Yeah. For like what 30 frames, you just get one half of the Zeo suit. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe not even that. It might be 20 frames. It was, but you would think that if they morphed and before they fall into water, they would still be morphed underwater.
Right.
But
And I don't understand why her suit disappeared as soon as she hit. Like she like what's it called? She like grounded out basically.
yeah, well, makes you think: is the Power Rangers' weakness water? Because they never really go underwater.
No, there's only a
So
few that have jumped in water, but never. They were pre-morphed when they did that. So,
yeah, so it's an interesting take in
mm.
theory. Maybe you can take that up with the Power Ranger conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah, Casey. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing that I don't like as much with this one is you don't really see them in the suits like in action until like
Nah.
the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. You don't. You rarely see it.
No.
Oh man.
And oh, sorry, I had a little blob thing happen on my computer. But yeah, it, where the first one, you saw them with their suits and they
Hmm.
fought before they had lost their powers and had to go get the ninja powers. There was no reason. And I think this is why Turbo was kind of tumultuous, because whenever they made the movie and figured out the story, they really didn't have a plan for why they changed their powers.
Yeah, there was no. Yeah, there was no explanation or anything. It was just like, hey, here's you created the new turbo powers, and here's the morphers, like instantly.
Yeah, it's like, here you go. Here's some new powers that seem crappier than the powers you just
Mhm.
had. Um, when all the other times there was always a reason. They lost it
Mhm.
somehow, um, or they need to have better powers for the fight that they're up against.
Yes.
They weren't up against any fight except for Larigo, was missing and stuff.
Yeah. The
But
only possible thing I could think of is that Malagor was coming, and but I mean by then they really didn't know. Still, you know, they didn't know what his power was.
no, no, and
So
yeah, and I don't know why they would be so afraid of Diva Talks.
yeah, even though Divatox did beat him in the series, so
Yes, technically speaking, yes, she did.
yeah, she did. So
Somehow.
yeah, yeah, because she's a bumbling buffoon in the movie and
Yeah.
with her henchmen.
Yeah,
So
and I don't like what are they, the
Piranatrons,
Piranatrons in the movie, like they went cheaper than the show.
super cheap. Like you could see there's missing paint on their necks and stuff, and
Yeah, like they
super
painted they
cheesy.
it looked like they were like painting dogs' faces on, because they had like the dog
Yeah,
nose.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, And the show is actually like a suit. Like it wasn't a humanoid face. It was
Mhm.
just a an alien suit. But they've maybe they didn't have those ready. Were those the same type of villains that were in the Sentai show?
Oh, I can't remember. I didn't. What was the Sentai Car
Car
Ranger?
Ranger, yeah.
So I can't remember if it's them or not. I don't think so. I think these were American originals.
Yeah, because I know they did that a lot after the first season of Putties. Like everything was different than
Yes.
the show, except for the cogs, because those were the same as in O Ranger, I
Oh,
believe.
really? Okay.
But the Z Putties, of course, they weren't in because Zed's a American Power
Mhm.
Rangers character.
Yep.
Um, which I'm glad for the Z Putties because the whatever the putties were called, henchmen were called in Die Ranger and in Kaku Ranger, they were just I don't think they would have translated well in an American show
Oh,
because they were just kind of too goofy and weird looking.
right, right.
So, but um, yeah. So and we lost what was his name?
The
Rocky.
character. Yeah, we lost Rocky in the first act, basically.
Yeah, and it didn't make much sense to me how like you could tell they didn't put much thought into it. They're like, we're just gonna make an hour and a half long episode and
Yeah,
call it a day.
yeah. I think that he was being written out of the TV series as well. So this was his way out in the movie. So they didn't give him very many lines. You could tell.
No, because the first time you see him is whenever he gets kind of
Yeah,
he throws his back out because somehow he launches himself outside of the
the
sparring
ring.
ring
Yeah, yeah.
and he breaks his back and I'm like they've gone through a lot more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, outside of their suits, and then all of a sudden, this is what
Does him in.
this
You
what
know.
does them in. Especially when you find out Largo has the power to heal, and then
Oh, god
they don't
dang
have
it!
him use it on Rocky. That doesn't make sense.
Poor
You know?
Rocky just get
Yeah,
thrown to the side.
yeah. Because Kat got injured whenever she was.
Mhm.
Her and Tommy had the little tussle with the snake.
Which, oh my god, so
It's
yeah, okay,
like, what's the corniest things we can continually do, scene in and scene out?
yeah.
Let's have them look for Largo, and then they get attacked by this snake, which causes Cat to have to jump
Yeah.
off this
Hey,
waterfall.
let's just place a python right
Yeah,
behind cat. Like you wouldn't be able to hear that coming up on you.
no, no, and they had to do like the little visual coming from above,
Yeah,
um, and then Tommy's like all stuck in it
Wrest-
and
wrestling it.
wrestling.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
it's a mess.
it would have been awesome though if well not awesome would be even more cringy if they would have like this big old huge like stuffed animal snake and then Tommy's just kind of wrestling around and
Oh my
like they
god,
have it
yeah,
like a sitcom would do or something.
yeah, yeah. Oh no. Well, I give him credit though. It was a realistic looking snake, so
That's
I give
true.
him that.
That's true.
Uh,
Uh, of but it gets even more absurd as the movie goes on. Like
mhm.
Larigo, I don't understand the creation of his character either because
No.
I know it's a kids show, but I don't know. Largo just seems a little too childish of a
Yes.
character.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
like
agree
they
with
didn't really
that.
know the demographic of.
Now, I feel
Well,
like
Power Rangers is like 8 to like 11, I guess.
right. I feel
But
that Largo was kind of like he was just a little I guess a bridge to the story. Like I think they kind of wrote him in last second. Like, oh, how are they going to get to the island of the unknown? Oh, we got it. Use Larico and have his family held hostage so he can open up the key, the portal.
yeah,
I feel like that's what it might have been to me. But yeah, because there was like no real purpose for him. Like most of the time he was just walking around by little chimps. Yeah, 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 exactly.
yeah. They speak their own little alien language that doesn't have really syllables, but His name is Larigo, and his wife does call him Larigo.
Yeah.
So like she enunciates
Oh.
that, but not everything else. Everything else is just
Yeah. He's just making sounds I make at a pizza buffet. Yeah. Oh yeah. Uh but I like, so one thing that bugs me though is, so when right when they create their powers, like even Zordon's like, what you're doing is you're creating the turbo powers, the strongest powers out there. These are your morphers with the keys that will, and then he tells them like the keys will help you get through the portal. Well, I forgot what the portal's name was. It was something I forgot. It was like the Bermuda Triangle.
let me look it up real quick.
Yeah. But yeah, the ship that they were like looking for, he was like, this ship will transport you there. And I don't understand it, because they just created the powers, right? They created the morphers and the keys. How does this ship already have a setup for the keys? Like, they just created these things. It's just a huge, like, it's just, like the ship was just had to be put there. Like, if this was an ancient ship, why does it have already key slots for the keys they just made?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like they're cars. So like it's a key car, like a key for a car.
Yes.
But then it's a ship, like an old pirate ship from like the 1500s. Like, that's not compatible technology, right?
No. Like, why does it take 5 keys to turn this thing on? Yeah. And it goes right back to it. Like, they just made the powers like 3 minutes ago. Why is there a boat with key slots already?
Yeah, and Zordon took a while to make the Thunder Zord powers.
Yeah.
And even the White Ranger power, and all of a sudden he can just take car powers out of his butt and his head butt. He's just a head butt.
That was a multiple play on words, I think.
Yeah. Headbutt. Anywho, so yeah, it seems like the whole thing was just kind of lazy.
Very.
Which of course they can do it. They're like, hey, we're gonna make money anyway, so let's just make this cheap as possible. Let's do it. Let's not even build helmet molds for our team, and the only helmets we have is the same. Who are the people that are in the suits?
The stunt actors.
The stunt actors. So they're the only ones that are in a full suit with the helmet.
Oh, you could definitely tell too. Like, they're not feminine figures in the
not at all. Like, you can tell that they try to act feminine, but it's kind of hard whenever you don't have the same anatomy. And it's easy to tell. Even whenever they introduce their powers, they morph for the first time, and they're literally just standing in the command center, looking at Zordon. And it's the stunt actors in the suits just standing there. Like, it's obvious that they're not the. It's one thing that stunt actors, while in action, you're not going to see that. It's been going on with Power Rangers since the beginning, because the Yellow Ranger was a boy named Boy, and Zoo Ranger,
right?
But so it's plausible to have stunt actors that are men, even though in the first movie, the female character stunt performers were also women.
Oh, I did not know that.
In the first movie, yes. At least the pink one. I'm not sure about the Yellow Ranger, but I'm pretty sure that the Pink Ranger's stunt performer was a woman in the first movie. In the second movie, I'm sure they used the show's stunt actors in it. So it just kind of out of place when they're literally just standing there.
It was very out of place. Yeah.
It's I was like, wait, that's not Cat.
That's no.
Aisha.
It was
not Aisha, but I'm sorry about that.
But as we were kids, though, we didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, we probably didn't notice that. Even on the toys, they all have the same body type, like the flip heads and everything.
Yeah.
So we didn't care as long as they were Power Rangers. Plus, as boys in the 90s, we probably didn't pay as much to the girl Power Rangers anyway. In their costume, we may have paid more attention on their
Yeah.
outside of the costume. But
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because Kimberly was one of my first crushes, but
Oh no.
we had a stray cat around our house at that time, and I named her Kimberly after Power Ranger Kimberly.
Uh-oh. How'd that go?
I don't know. We didn't live there for very long.
Oh. So you dear John at Kimberly the cat?
No, I guess so because we moved. We were living in Texas at the time, then we moved to Oklahoma.
Okay.
A little long after. We're back to Oklahoma. But yeah, let's talk more about like what goes on in the ship. Because they try to send these monsters in there that kind of remind me of Toka and Razar from Ninja Turtles 2, or just one of them because they're like turtles.
Right. Yeah, they're like little pod looking things. Yeah.
And I was like, do we go into the Ninja Turtles realm now? Because they didn't have that one. Didn't they have that one game where they were on a like a ship
on TMNT?
Yeah, like one of the games. Maybe Turtles.
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of Donkey Kong. I don't know.
Oh no, yeah. But yeah, those things snuck up on the ship. I don't know how they got up on the ship as they were only pods.
Yeah,
like
well
they didn't hatch until they were on the ship.
They were kind of big, and
Yeah,
even whenever they formed into the turtle thingies, snapping turtles, like how they were able to just sneak up on the
exactly. Yeah.
But
as per Power Ranger, Power Ranger, they got disbanded real quick, and then the last one ran and Tommy pushed him off. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's not to mention by this point we have a new Blue Ranger. The first ever kid, Justin, was introduced as the new Blue Ranger, which I guess they were using to do like a more of appealing to the kid audience at the time.
Yeah, I guess they wanted kids to feel like, you can, no matter how old you are, you can be a Power Ranger. Mm-hmm. So, because we've been watching teenagers be Power Rangers, and then now it's like a kids could say, hey, you can be a Power Ranger now.
Yeah. I guess that's when the numbers were starting to fall. They were like, hey, we got to do something,
And it really didn't work because it kept falling and falling.
Yeah.
But Sentai did it with Die Ranger or Die Ranger. The White Ranger in that show was a kid.
Yep.
The most perverted kid that I don't think they couldn't do that in Power Rangers at all, because he was like, that kid was just
But you could tell when they used the White Ranger from Die Ranger on the America footage and MMPR, because his antics were of a little kid in the scenes they used. So
because he'd dance around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and they try to do that with the Blue Ranger, but I don't know. It just didn't
play out well.
No. I don't. I'm sure that's not what they were hoping for. Of course, they're not going to hope for it to bomb, but they realized the fans. That's not really what the fans wanted. Maybe it's the older fans, because again, this show came out. It's already been out for like 4 years. It's like the 5th season. Like the first fans were in that age, because I was 7 or 8 when the first season came out. So by the time Turbo, I kind of aged myself out, just because I just wasn't as interested in it.
Yeah.
I'm more traditional. I liked the Power Ring, the Mighty Morphin suits and stuff. So, but I did give In Space a chance for like an episode, and then I forgot about Power Rangers for
a
long time until I was an adult, probably like 5 years ago. So that's when I got right back into it, because I saw that when Bandai was doing their legacy figures, I got hooked again. So
yeah, I feel you.
But so I just forgot what the kid's name was.
Justin?
Justin. Sorry, my bad.
Ah.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. So Justin replaced Rocky. Though it seemed like it was supposed to be just until Rocky healed up, but then he just disappeared.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, at the very end, he's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky just disappeared.
Because he was just taking his place because he was, in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because he overheard them saying that they were powering. Basically, he found out that they were Power Rangers because he was hiding under Rocky's bed.
Yes.
But, and yeah, Rocky left. They were writing him out of the show because Adam Cardenas, is that his name?
Steve Cardenas.
Steve.
Yeah.
See, I'm just messing everybody's name up. Steve Cardenas, he was wanting to open up his own like karate studio or something.
Oh.
Or do something with karate. So he wanted to kind of get off the show so he can focus on that, on his karate, either karate career or karate studio.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I found that out on Google yesterday.
Ah.
Yeah.
So they wrote him out, replaced him with Justin to appeal to a younger audience because they saw the numbers were slipping. And what way to do it is in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though you would think that they could have just kept him in throughout the movie, and then towards the end, something happened where he had to quit or he had to give his powers to Justin. But they wanted to go straight to Justin.
Yeah, I wish they would have done like a power transfer like they've done before in MPR and Zeo.
Yeah, because technically they probably should have, because even though it's different powers, he's still, I guess Rocky was still the rightful Blue Ranger with the new powers. So it's not like he was replaced. It was, he would have had to have given him his power somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got Justin, and the rest is history. Though I think where Justin kind of redeemed himself at the end of Turbo, the series, because he kind of left the team just so he can spend time with his dad and help them go off into space or something.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
He let them go and he stayed behind to stay with his dad.
Yeah. So, and then he came back with his car.
Oh yes, he comes back in space episode. Yeah.
So, but there's a lot more absurdity. So with the we have the villains now with Divatox and her minions and her nephew.
Yeah, her nephew. I don't remember his name in the movie, but yeah, her nephew's like robotic and looking weird.
Yeah, there's two.
There's two, yeah.
Elgar. So Elgar is her nephew, and then there's the other one.
The blue one. I can't remember their names.
Rygog? Does that sound right?
Sounds about right, yeah.
We'll say Rygog. So
yeah.
And which I think Divatox is an American creation, but I think the other two were from the Car Ranger show.
Oh, from the sense. Okay.
Yes. All right. I believe so. Though, okay, so this is where maybe I just didn't check out a post credit thing or mid or end credit because they had the bloopers and stuff for during the credits. Maybe I didn't check them out. But at one point, because they needed a sacrifice for Malagor,
right?
And so, since none of the Rangers were falling into the pit, she sacrificed Elgar.
Yes, that's right. Throws him over with the eel with their pet.
But he's still in the show.
Oh yeah, that's right. So, he's still in the series. Yeah.
So he gets killed off in the movie, but then he's alive.
Mm-hmm.
Which they also, I think, when the show started, they ended up replacing the Divatox actress.
Oh,
With the same person that plays Demetria.
right.
But then brought her back. So she actually, they replaced her with her because she was pregnant, so she
Oh,
had time with her family. But then she came back as Divatox later in the season. So there's technically
okay.
2 Divatox actresses.
Interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they do change, like, so they add like Largo as a kid, and thing for kids and Justin for kids, but then they add Divatox in there, which I guess that might be a way to interest dads to bring their kids
Right.
to the
Because
movie.
as because yeah, nobody's looking at her face.
Oh, she had a face.
Yeah, she had a face. No grown guy is gonna be looking at her face. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a lot like what was that character in the first movie? Um,
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
yeah, so it was kind of like that. It was like all this stuff was for kids. Well, let's put a little bit of you know things in there to bring in some of the adults, because maybe a parent would be like, no, I don't want to take you to see that movie. That movie looks stupid, but then they see
They see a
something that looks
commercial.
appealing to the eyes, and they're like, well,
Yeah.
maybe I'll change my mind. I'll take you to see your Super Power Ranger movie.
Yeah. There you go.
But
And so as you know that the basically Divatox beats them to the island. Then in turn sees the ship. Well, they don't even see the ship because the ship's undetectable. So they fire 2 torpedoes in the middle of nowhere. Don't know where they're shooting at, but somehow destroys the ship that they're on.
yeah, the Power Rangers, and Adam sees this from a distance, and he just thinks
Yes.
that they're gone.
Yeah, he says,
And
"Oh no!"
that's the end of the movie.
And
That's it.
then,
Power Rangers are destroyed. Malagor comes back, destroys the world, and
mm-hmm.
there we go. It's
And
like
what happens next? They drive the cars in water.
water
Yeah,
cars.
yeah.
That reminds me of
So
Hyde. They made cars that run on water, man.
we, yeah. So real cheesy about that, But what gets me is the ship is the only thing that can get them through. So how do they get back? So
That's another kind of the same way Elgar came back from
right.
death.
Oh yeah, from movie magic.
Yes.
So
One thing that I guess I forgot to mention is, we did mention that Kimberly and Jason came back,
uh-huh.
But they were kidnapped by Divatox just because they just wanted to hold them ransom, and then they found out that they were Power
They
Rangers.
just happen to be ex-Rangers.
Just happened. Then somehow they brainwashed Bulk and Skull, didn't do anything with them outside of just giving them like
They were just
silver
more.
tips
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say they were
German
just more
accents.
comedic relief. That was it.
Who is this Bulk and Skull you speak of?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because you had to have Bulk and Skull a little bit in there, but they still could have been the muscle. I don't know why they had to have Kimberly and Jason be the muscle for their plan.
To escape
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, originally they were going to sacrifice Kimberly,
Yeah.
and then they decide when the Rangers show up that they're going to sacrifice the Rangers.
Yep.
And that's when they made.
Which I don't understand. The holding cell that they were in was just a basic grate over the floor. How do you not hear them planning to pop the side of the ship off to get out and flood it?
Especially whenever you have like cameras and you're actually watching them.
Yeah.
And
you got cameras and everything.
Yeah. You think you would, if you have the technology to, well, in the later, like not in the movie, because Malagor was already big, but make a monster bigger after it's died, because that's the monster dies and then it becomes bigger. That's how every episode ends. But you can't listen onto your cameras and your.
I don't understand.
It makes no sense.
I mean,
You know,
the bridge of her submarine was not very busy looking at all throughout the movie. So how do you not see that?
no. Or if you got guards there, you know, I'm sure your guards
Hmm.
um, would be able to say something because they would be able to hear it. But
Exactly. How?
but who knows? It didn't really work out for them anyway.
Yeah,
So
not in the
so
long
I
run.
guess it
No,
didn't matter.
no, not at
uh,
all.
but so yeah, so the Power Rangers they try to save the day, and so that's when Diva Talks um, hypnotize Jason and Kimberly, and then they start fighting the Rangers with the Piranha. Actually, they might. Sorry, I know we talked about how they were different, but they actually might have been different and
Well,
not Piranhatrons.
I think wait, the Piranhatrons are from in space
It's true.
because
Let's
they are
see.
robotic, right?
Maybe.
I don't know what hers were called.
Oh, did they were Piranatrons?
Oh,
I
that's what
think.
hers were.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I can type right. Piranatrons. Yes. Yeah.
Ah,
So they were the
okay,
Piranha, but I guess the movies were still Piranatrons.
okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it was. Oh no, that was what I was thinking of. It was the first movie um, with you had the Tango Warriors and the Tangos or whatever. Yeah, the two different ones.
Oh, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you had his specific, and then you had uh, his other ones. Yes,
Yeah.
Tangas, and I can't remember what the other ones were called.
Something. But I think in the movie, because the Tang, I don't know. Anywho, that's not what we're talking about. Because
Yeah.
by the way, it's late when we're recording this. As of now, it's 12:24 a.m.
Hmm.
So
That's
so
right.
so I'm in deep need of sleep since I've been up since like 8 o'clock this morning. So
Ah, yeah.
yeah, but so the rest of the movie kind of still plays out like a normal Power Rangers episode.
You already know
Um,
it.
that
Was it Tommy or Jason and Kimberly get uh brainwashed by being dipped into the lava pit, manhandling the Power Rangers as they're already fighting the Piranatrons and the villagers that are there too. Of course, as we said before, Tommy basically takes his helmet off to try and convince Kimberly that it's they're trying to help, and then that's when Jason gets involved and it's like, this one's mine.
Mhm. Yeah, out of his
You know,
jealous rage.
yes.
And then it looks like Tommy's gonna knock Jason overboard to
Hmm.
sacrifice him, but he doesn't. He saves
And
him.
guess who steps in to save the day by magic to break the brainwash? Larago and his
Larigo, that's the
wife.
one.
They use
Golly.
their magic to destroy to beat the spell.
Yes. But it looked like Jason was already kind of starting getting out of it
Yeah.
whenever Tommy saved him. But yeah. And then they take it outside whenever
Mhm.
Divatox sacrifices that one guy's name again. And and um so she's summoning Malagor because she wants to wed him,
Yeah.
marry him, so they can be just this mighty couple and, you know, dominate the universe or something like that. But then she finds out that he's a big lava monster, and then
Yeah.
she's kind of rethinking, like, I don't know how this is going to work out.
Yeah. Yeah. She didn't think
So
about that. Yeah.
no, she didn't even research who Malagor was. She just knew of his powers. Like, oh, he's of great power. He can which I don't know if the Power Rangers were able to take care of Malagor the way they did in this movie, then what she thinks is powerful is she has no good judgment.
Nope.
At all.
Not even.
Because, whenever Malagor is summoned, he's huge, so then they summon their Turbo Zords,
Yep.
the Megazord.
Which, in the beginning of the movie, when they created the turbo powers, Zordon does say that this Zord is actually strongest Zord ever, which I think is up to that point, because after Turbo, there's obviously stronger ones,
Yeah.
But I think up to this point, it was the strongest Zord that they've created.
That's how they can play it off, but then you watch it, you're like, how is this car thing? And
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't, like, it looks silly compared to all the other ones. Even sillier than the ninja one, which is kind of a hodgepodge of animals.
That's all it was, yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, in Kaku Ranger, the Shogun Megazord, or whatever it was called, that was actually first. And then later in the season, they got that Megazord.
Oh, interesting.
So it was actually backwards.
Oh wow.
So
okay,
it was interesting. In Power Rangers, they went that way because I guess that looks more like a simpler Megazord. So they get that first, and then they get the Shogun Megazords later.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Boy, wow. But as like you were saying, basically the Turbo Megazord dispatches old Malagor with ease.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that fight's only like 3 minutes long.
3 minutes.
Yeah, it's like your typical Power Rangers. They fight, you think they're out of it, and then all of a sudden they summon their sword, and then
that's it.
That's it.
So
which the first movie kind of changed that, because whenever I don't think we talked about this in the podcast when we did that, but whenever they formed the Megazord, they were going to summoned the Shogun sword. So the sword that you see in that one is actually the Shogun Megazord sword. For a lot of people that think, well, the toys don't have a sword. It had a sword in the movie. But no, the sword that was in the movie that Megazord had was actually the Shogun Megazord sword. But they only had it for like a half a second, and then they basically like take it from before they can use it.
Yeah.
So the Power Rangers were going to cut to the chase and just use it, and then they didn't. So that's why you need to be able to fight a little bit before you use the
Put on a show. You got to put on a show.
Yes. Kind of play pool shark with the bad guy for a little bit before you bring in the ringer. So, yeah. So they dispatch him, and then Divatox kind of, I'll get you, my pretty, if it's the last thing I'll do.
Right.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
And even what earlier in the movie, she calls Rita for advice, and what does Rita tell her? Run. Yes. so she should have took her words.
She never did. So I do have a question, because again, I'm outside of Mighty Morphin, I'm not as strong in. So the Machine Empire, were they destroyed at the end of Zeo?
Okay, so yes and no. So they were eliminated, but there was a lot of top generals that survived. That if you watch Forever Red, they actually kind of explain that they were some of the generals that survived the defeat of them, and they come back to get Serpentera. So yes and no. So yes.
Okay. Well, see, I didn't know if like they defeated them and they left, or some of them were still kind of around thinking about plotting against the Power Rangers.
That's exactly.
They did.
Yeah, that's what happened. They were going to get Serpentera to defeat the Power Rangers, and
at the end of Zeo or the Forever Red.
Oh, in Forever Red.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Zeo?
Yeah, in Zeo they defeat them. Yes.
Okay. But so then there was no threat afterwards.
No
or
threat.
They don't think. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering if like they should have done something with like Diva Talks overthrowing or something.
Right.
But I don't know how they would have done that because I really don't think that she would have been smart enough to outsmart
the Robot Empire.
Robot Empire. So, but I don't know. She did defeat the Rangers. Robot Empire couldn't do that.
She was praised as a hero in the first episode of In Space.
Yes.
When they were having that dinner with Malagor. No, that was Ecliptor.
Ecliptor, which is the same suit costume as the Malagor. Which they repurposed it for Ecliptor, yeah.
Wait, no. Ecliptor is the is Astronomer's right hand man.
Oh, it's Dark Spectre.
Dark Spectre.
That's so. See, close names.
So as the fan theories is that Malagor and Dark Spectre are brothers.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
that would make sense. But yeah, but as far as like this movie, it kind of goes. Yeah. It is kind of what it is. It's just an extra long episode of Power Rangers.
That's all. Yeah.
With cleavage.
Yeah. yeah.
Oh, yeah. And worse henchmen than the actual show.
But yeah, I mean, I'll give them credit for trying a movie, introducing it to a younger generation. I wish there was a lot of these things that were not so blatantly like why, you know.
Yeah. There's lots of whys and kind of head scratchers, but they did make it canon. They did use this to introduce the next season of Power Rangers, which created confusion with the first movie because it was like its own thing.
Yes,
and then they redid it with Ninjor giving them the powers. So
right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because the girl
Dulcina. That was
Dulcina. That's her. God, dang it. Yeah.
It was Dulcina the first one because of Ivan Ooze. But it was
Ninjor,
and then series. Why do they need the ninja powers in the show?
Oh man, what was it? I can't remember now. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Maybe they I don't know. I'll have to watch it because that's one of my future episodes of a different thing that I'm working on. More Phenomenal Motivation Monday. So there's stuff that has to do with the episodes before that actually, because the first few episodes of the third season was the Masked Rider.
Oh, that's right.
Episodes, the 2-parter or 2 or 3-parter thing. Might have been 3-parter. And then the whole ninja thing. So yeah, I need to look back into that, watch them again. You can watch, I think, up to, I want to say, Jungle Fury on YouTube. So on the Power Rangers official YouTube. So whenever they took everything off of Netflix, they slowly started adding them onto their YouTube page.
I've been watching a little bit of Ninja Storm like that on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that might have been it. It's either Ninja Storm and then they always have like a live broadcast of like Mega Force or something.
Oh, you mean Trash Force? Dang.
Mega crap.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know. See, I watched a few episodes here and there, so I can't really tell you. Even though I did see the legendary battle.
Yeah.
And that was I don't know, it was a huge letdown because I was like really looking forward to that. I saw it well after the fact, like a year later. But it was
it besmirched the name.
It did. It's like they build this whole huge thing up and just it was a dud.
Yep, that's all it was. Yeah.
The Forever Red episode was much
better.
Much better. I did watch that. Even though I didn't watch the season, I just want to watch that because again, Jason's my favorite Ranger of all time. So
okay.
So because he's the OG leader of Power Rangers,
right?
The true leader, not Tommy.
He was suckered in
Tommy heads, but
yeah. as I made a video about that, Tommy had Zordon basically guilt tripped Tommy into fighting with them, and then gave him a redemption story with the white power. So that's why he was in the show for so long. For
Yes, that
those,
makes sense, I guess.
yeah,
But then he kept coming to the show.
yep, kept coming back.
He has, of course, he's been more Rangers than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
He's been Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo, and Dino Thunder. So,
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, green and white Mighty Morphin, so the green and white. So yeah, so he's been a lot of colors.
Very, yes.
Green, white, red, black.
So, but if you read the comic Soul of Dragon, you can see that power takes a toll on him in the comic series.
Well, I guess it kind of makes sense because that's a lot of, it's like Thanos with the
with the
Infinity Stones, because each one is more powerful. It's harder to take that in. So, and he's right. Tommy's only human.
That's correct.
So, but final thoughts on Turbo before we kind of close this thing.
Final thoughts. I give it I give it a 4 out of 10. They tried. I mean, Bulk of Skull was pretty good in their comedic relief. Like I said before, they did try to relate to a younger generation. The characters were nice, like they were good placement. I liked it all. The story was consistent. There was little plot holes in it that don't make sense as a grown up now rewatching it.
But that's Power Rangers for you.
But that's just Power Rangers for you, though. I mean, I'm not gonna talk bad about it. I watched it on opening day. I liked it. I still like it, but now that I'm an adult watching it, I kind of see the missing holes there. Yeah.
Well, I do. I keep on forgetting when we talk about Bulk and Skull. So there's kind of a flub in the movie where Bulk and Skull's at the ballpark and Skull's trying to get the mustard on the hot dog.
Oh yes.
And then Lieutenant Stone's trying to talk them, and he couldn't get the mustard out. Well, he has a hot dog with a bun and a hot dog, or wiener. But so he drops the mustard, tries to stomp on it to get it working. It's not working, so he picks it up, and then when you look at the hot dog, it's just the bun. And now he's trying to get the mustard on just a bun. And so he finally squirts the mustard, into Lieutenant Stone's face. And then the next time you see the hot dog, it's the full hot dog in the bun.
God dang it.
Yeah. Every time, last few times I saw him, wait a minute, I had to rewind that and go back a few times. I'm like,
he really, there's a hot dog missing.
How do they not know, how does he not be like, there's a hot dog, where's my hot dog? But I guess they were trying to, hurry to the scene.
Oh my God.
They maybe had too many takes.
Well, so, if you watch the post credit scenes, they're inside the Megazord and they actually hit a control and the Megazord falls over almost, and it's really funny. So they're pretty funny in there. So,
you wanted to see more of that. I know in the comic books, they do get some Power Ranger powers here and there. In the show, there's a few times they pretend to be Power Rangers with their really low tech
gadgets,
weird suits and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going on almost an hour now. So this is fun. I enjoy, especially talking Power Rangers. I don't actually talk about it as much as I need to,
right?
Because that's my claim to fame on TikTok is Power Rangers. So I need to be a little bit smarter.
Maybe next one we can review the 2017 pile of junk.
I think we will. I'm not quite sure if we'll be with you and Jim, but I think Jim will be there, so it might be the three of us again for that.
All right,
I'm not quite sure. Or it could just be Jim.
All right.
But that's coming. That actually might be the next one after this.
Interesting.
Yes, because we're gonna try. Yeah, that might be happening this weekend, maybe. But anywho, so one thing that I didn't do is introduce my hosts, which is zeotohero, which you are the host. of co-host of zeotohero. So could you let us know, for those that are just listening to me or watching my YouTube or mine, and doesn't know as much about zeotohero, let them know what zeotohero is about.
Basically, we're a podcast that's around, well, kind of like Power Rangers, but we dabble in everything, like from Gundam, anime. We also love to not cater to, but we love to hear fans, fan made theories, not theories, fan made series as well. We've actually met a lot of cool people through there. You can always see our content and our partners like Ben here on our website, zeotohero.com. Well, you can follow all our socials as we post everybody that we work with. Zeotohero on all sorts of all Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then TikTok is our Z2H pod, which is me basically doing dumb stuff with my toys. I can't pull one out here. I don't got one at the ready.
Well, yeah. If they're watching on YouTube, they can see all your cases behind you.
Yeah, and then the new ones I just got. So, I gotta get ready for all the nonsense coming. But yeah, so you can find us out and see what we're all about. Definitely if you want to come on our podcast, we're more than welcome. We can always shoot. I was gonna say another word there.
This is a family friendly cast, so
it got you. But yeah, we're pretty fun. Me and Jim are a hoot as the Bulk and Skull podcasting, as we say, which we do have recognition from Paul Schreier as the Bulk actor. So,
and more to come.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, thank you for being here on the BakerRangers movie talk. This was fun again.
Oh yeah.
And thank everybody who was listening or watching on YouTube. We thank you. And before I leave, I do want to, for those on YouTube, you can see my shirt. BakerRangers. So I have a merch store through Stream Elements. It is in my link tree. So if you want a cool merch like this, or with our new logo, this is our old logo. We got a new logo. So shirts, hoodies, hats now. I got a hat just started up on there the other day. So check it out. That's my plug for my merch store. You don't have to. I'm just needing better equipment, so that's why.
Yeah,
that's why I'm peddling it. So it's not for myself. Well, it's for myself, but it's for this. If you like what you hear, what you see, and you want to rep it on your body, go ahead, and then I can have better streams in the future. So, so thank you guys for watching, for listening, and like Zordon would say, may the power protect you. If you enjoyed this episode of Baker Rangers Movie Talk, please check us out on YouTube and wherever you find your podcast. And also check out our host, Zeotohero, wherever you find your podcast, and zeotohero.com.